Improvement to facility, spin doctor, DJ. Couple more votes. We good? Innovative idea, disco ball. Innovative idea, lazy boy chairs. Innovative idea, spin doctor. Appeal to student, disco ball. Appeal to student, lazy boy chairs. With cup holder or remote control, right, there you go. Appeal to student, spin doctor, DJ. Yeah. Okay, now you can see our results. All right, so what TurningPoint did was it took all the results and plotted them in a 4x4, just like that, right? Where the size, well, first of all, I've got improvement to facility, 0 to 5. Innovative idea, 0 to 5. So the less innovative, it would be down low. Improvement to facility, the higher it is an improvement to the facility, you're going to see it closer to 5 or conversely down there. The size of the bubble is the appeal to the student. All right? So we've got a discussion perhaps, right? Spin doctor, DJ, lazy boy chairs, you know, they're kind of up in that quadrant there. So, you know, you might argue that lazy boy chairs is the winner, right? It's a little bit bigger, it's further right, further up, and there you go. We're done. Thank you very much. Our meeting's over. I've got my detailed documentation. You had your opportunity to speak up amongst your peers, and the facts are the facts. You can have your own opinion, but you can't have your own facts, right? So when we get out in the field and everybody wants to know how we spent the $20,000 and how we made our decision, I can say I involved 40 people in the decision-making process against the attributes the donor asked us to use, and we did it in 10 minutes, sort of, kind of. Yes, sir?
Was my half of the room discarded in determining the bubble size? Because really that shouldn't matter as a faculty member in terms of the student bubble size.
Right.
Right, but
and that was the...
Really cares about the attributes of what the students want.
I might not have asked you. Yeah.
Well,
I'm just curious. Yeah, I think probably what this is actually no. This is actually a very good question because the point is, before you do something like this, you want to make sure everybody had an ample opportunity to think for a little bit, to say, well, why do you really care what the faculty thinks on this? Shouldn't we just ask the appeal to the student? We get a more accurate read on the data there. But I would perhaps come back and say, you all teach different things. This is a very, we tried to come up with a diverse group of students across class and across subject of study, so I might argue that your students, whatever, right?
You can look at the demographics later, but it's not going to show up on this.
No, the demographics won't show up on this slide right here, but if you're familiar with our tool, TurningPoint, you can actually run a report right now on demographics, and it'll group all the results by student, all the results by faculty throughout. Okay? So just what I'm going to do now is I'm going to exit out of this presentation, and I'm just going to show you where to find the ranking wizard on the toolbar and show you how simple it is to create the 4x4. You don't really create the 4x4. It creates it for you, but you have to put some attributes in there, right? So Okay, let's do this. Find the mouse. Somebody has set it up in a way that maybe we're not going to do that. Well, how would I? Oh, maybe I can drag the screen over there, you think? No? All right. Well, folks, I'm not sure. Does anybody know off the top of their head how you'd fix that real quickly? Setup show. Let's just do that and see what happens. Because it's not really an extended desk. Oh, there it is. Okay, great. Okay, whoever comes in after me, too. Sorry about that. I'm not sure I remember how to put it back. All right, so here I am. You're all familiar with where the Turning Point toolbar is. I just simply come over here to Tools, and I go down to Ranking Wizard. And I click on Ranking Wizard, and here is where I enter in the items that I'm going to evaluate. Disco ball, lazy boy chair, right? Spin doctor. So I simply type in disco ball, hit enter, lazy boy chair, hit enter, and spin doctor, right? Go to the next key. Oh, by the way, let's say you had a lot of attributes. You can actually save this list so that you could just bring it up the next time you use it. It actually saves with your presentation, but maybe you want to share it with other people to use at their meetings or whatever. Just email them the list and they can import it right in there. Then here, all I have to do is put in my X attribute, which was, what was the X attribute? It was, we'll just say it was innovative. This one was improvement to facility. And this is my Z, which was appeal to student. And I can do a variety of things here. We're not going to worry about those right now. But I'm going to just click Next. It gives me, then I can decide what kind of scale I want. And then I can just simply right-click on this, Edit Text, enter in high, Edit Text, low. I can obviously call these whatever I want. And click Next. It gives me a little summary. And the most important thing about this slide is how many question slides I'm going to generate. Because, I mean, we've done these before, and you can imagine where if you're doing especially a paired comparison, where once you go through it and do what we just did, now I'm going to ask you to rank the two against each other. Disco ball and lazy boy chair, which one do you believe has a better facility improvement? And we go through all the paired comparisons all the way down. Well, now we're generating a lot more slides. It just depends how big of a decision you're making, right? So I hit Next, and then there's the slides. Okay? So basically, I don't have a good template loaded, but these are my 9 slides right in here, and here's the bubble chart. So really, your time and investment to using a decision-making tool like the Ranking Wizard is really in determining what your attributes are going to be and why, and everybody agrees with those attributes and why, right? Any questions on that before I jump back in? Anybody? Yes, sir. No, I just really picked 3 so it doesn't generate a lot of slides. Yeah, you could enter in as many as you want, right? It's more difficult to graph. For example, what I believe in combining high touch with high tech. And if you were to go into my creative room in our offices, you would see a wall like this at any given time with flip charts all the way across. And if they're all filled, you know we just had a creative session. After my team leaves, I sit down and think about the business objectives, the competitive issues, everything you're supposed to do while they're busy doing other things. And I categorize things. And then I bring them back in. And we typically will whittle it down to a logical number that really deserve to be, and some of them are all the same. You know, they're like, well, that's really the same. Everybody's going to be confused. They won't know how to vote. So we put them into a category of an umbrella category. Does that make sense? No? Any other question? No?